Good morning, Cowboys. I'm Ryan, and I'll be your host this morning. Coming up on today's show, we have a look at this week's weather forecast, as well as a pop culture rundown. Today's Tuesday, September 8th, and Canyon News Network starts right now. Welcome back. With this past week hitting over 100 degrees, both students and staff are hoping this weather will cool down. Now let's head over to Keisha with this week's weather forecast.
Good morning, Cowboys. I'm Keisha with this week's weather forecast. We have another hot week ahead of us, but luckily it won't reach the triple digits. Today will be windy with a high of 94 and a low of 66. Tomorrow will also be windy with a high of 93 and a low of 60. Thursday will be sunny and have a high of 93 degrees. Finally, Friday will have a high of 96 and a low of 64. Make sure to stay cool, and for Canyon News Network, I'm Keisha Stewart. Now back to you.
Thanks, Keisha. Now, yesterday we celebrated Labor Day with a day off from school, but many students don't know the real meaning behind this holiday. Now let's head over to Ava to explain more about this day.
Many students love Labor Day because it means they have a 3-day weekend, and this year was no different. Labor Day took place yesterday on September 7th, meaning we all got the first Monday of September off. But what exactly is Labor Day? Labor Day is a day all about recognizing the economic and social achievements of American workers. Originally, Labor Day was a movement, the labor movement that included people fighting for better work environments. Workers wanted better wages, safer working conditions, reasonable hours, and efforts to end child labor. Retired and injured workers wanted health benefits and support. U.S. labor leader Peter McGuire is credited for coming up with the idea of Labor Day, and in 1882, the first ever Labor Day was celebrated. On September 5th, 1882, about 10,000 workers joined in on a large parade in New York City, commemorating all the workers' accomplishments. On June 28, 1894, President Grover Cleveland signed a law which made Labor Day an official holiday, meaning every year on the first Monday of September it was celebrated. We hope you had a great Labor Day weekend, Cowboys. For Canyon News Network, I'm Ava Truitt. Now back to you.
Thanks, Ava. With many social media outlets, students are able to share, communicate, and keep up to date with their communities. Now let's send it over to Woody.
Hey Cowboys, I'm Woodrow Turner, and I'm here to catch you up on what was trending this week. First off, we have some bad news. There was a massive fire that was surprisingly started by a gender reveal that burned nearly 7,400 acres. The reveal contraption was made to explode on a bullet impact, and it quickly lit up the dry grass around it. If you're into gaming tech and computers, many people are mad about the new price of the NVIDIA graphics card release, and not because it's expensive, it's because it's cheaper than the old version. The old graphics card is nearly double the price of the new GTX 370, the GTX 380, and the RTX 390, priced around $500 to $700. Next, we have some good news. The movie theaters are reopening, but now with strict social distancing laws that reduce the number of people in the building and in the rooms. Denzel Washington fans are excited to see Denzel's son on the big screen with his new movie called Tenet. For music this week, Big Sean dropped a new album called Detroit 2, and people are excited to hear from him because it's been a long time since he's last dropped music. That's all for me. Now back to you, Ryan.
Students, if you were unable to attend the textbook distribution, please make an appointment to pick up your books. Also, please make sure to fill out your damage waiver form as soon as possible so you're not charged for any pre-existing damages. With new updates to distance learning, it is imperative that us students sign into our Heart District email to access our classes and actively look for instructions. Please be sure to check your emails frequently. Finally, today we have our second installment of our During Lockdown series. This week we'll be looking at one local SCV youth who is looking to create change during the lockdown. Now here's Priscilla with the full story.
Society now more than ever seems to be open to new ideas. However, many individuals in the LGBTQ community still feel isolated and unwelcomed. In efforts to support others, former Academy of the Canyon student Finley Walker has gone the extra mile as he has established his own LGBTQ Center here in Santa Clarita. Because of his own struggles and personal experiences as an LGBTQ member, he has been the one to create the center and get this project off the ground.
So finding resources in Santa Clarita at the time was genuinely really difficult. Anything I needed, we had to go to Los Angeles for, and I know that many people in the Valley are in the same situation, and beyond that, many don't have supportive parents like I did, who can take them all the way to Los Angeles.
Seeking to provide others with resources he didn't have, Finley believes this center has the ability to change lives.
The world is not really built in our favor the same way it is for heterosexual and cisgender people. So having even a couple of resources and community opportunities can drastically change the experience of an LGBTQ person.
LGBTQ members overall face more hardships than most people in their daily lives. According to the Center for American Progress report, 40% of the reported 1.6 million homeless youth are LGBTQ members, while only 7% of the overall youth population is LGBTQ. Knowing the number and the injustices LGBTQ members face, Finley advocates for the center and hopes to one day have an actual building and establishment that LGBTQ members can rely on.
It's like a place where people can go like after school or, on their downtime, because, sometimes it's like people don't feel comfortable just going home because they know that they're not accepted there. So just having somewhere that they know they can go to where they know they could just be themselves and be accepted,
Not only is the center a place of inclusion, but it overall benefits the mental health of the youth. Sarah Gilberts, our Canyon Wellness Center coordinator, discusses how teens who are part of the LGBTQ community can face rejection, trauma, and even verbal, mental, and physical abuse.
Many of these people in this community struggle in silence, right? So they face worse health outcomes as a result. And so suicide is really huge, and they're at a higher risk. And so we don't want anyone to suffer in silence. And so that's why it's so important that this center is here in this community.
While Finley and his mom work on getting physical space in Santa Clarita, students at Canyon can also access resources and counseling through our own Canyon Wellness Center.
And so we offer one-on-one counseling, private counseling for anyone who needs support or help. We also offer group counseling, which is going to start at the end of September.
Although the center may not be established yet, if you are interested in getting involved, be sure to follow the center on Instagram. In the meantime, Finley will be posting important resources and events regarding the LGBTQ community, which can be found on the center's website at www.scvlgbtqcenter.org. Reporting for CNN, I'm Priscilla Fong.
As always, your Canyon family is here for you, especially in these new challenging times. Now please feel free to contact the Cowboy Corner if you or your family is in need. Well, that's all for me. For more updates, please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CHS News Network. I'm Ryan Majima. Now have a great week, Cowboys.